Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith, and welcome to my view from the 40. There's a lot of things that I would love to be talking to you about tonight. I love to talk to you about the fact that I went to the Red Blacks game and I got to catch up with an old high school friend. It was his first Red Blacks game, and what a game he got to see. But I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'd love to talk about the fact that the Red Blacks cheer and dance team did one of my favorite moves. I'm sure there's an official term for it, but I call it the cartwheel move. Unfortunately, we're not going to really talk about that a lot tonight. And I'd also like to take, pride in the fact that I'm so excited that the Grey Cup is coming to Ottawa in 2017, and probably what was one of the best Grey Cup announcements ever. But that's going to have to wait for another day. Driving home, listening to talk radio, specifically one of the radio stations here in Ottawa, you would absolutely think that the sky is falling. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, so I'm going to give you mine. Here's the short form. The Ottawa Red Blacks lost tonight. You know what? It happens. Don't love it, don't feel great about it, but they lose. And unlike last week's game, this isn't a game that you can turn around and say, well, the refereeing was really bad or it was really suspect. No, Ottawa got beat. And when you turn on the radio, you're hearing, oh, Henry Burris didn't play well and Henry Burris might have to worry about his job. Listening to fans leaving the stadium, oh, Henry Burris sucks. And it's kind of the same thing we saw a lot of, especially in the first year. When the going gets tough, the fans get going. With about 2 minutes left in this game, people started leaving like there was a shoe sale going on. The game wasn't over, people. And to each their own. I don't know what people's situations are, but I have a hard time thinking that, a huge amount of the audience had to leave because they needed to go and relieve the babysitter of her duties. No, we've seen this time and time again in Ottawa. We see it at Ottawa Senators games. Now we're seeing it at Red Blacks games. Everybody loves it when Ottawa wins. We go to the Grey Cup, people are happy, people are excited, and everybody's just embracing the whole Red Blacks organization. But when there's a little bit of adversity, that's when you find out who the real fans are. And my name's Keith Whittier, and I'm a real fan. I'll tell you something, I'm extremely passionate about this league, and I'm extremely happy and grateful that we've got a team back in Ottawa. And to that end, let me just say to the naysayers, no, Henry Burris doesn't suck. Now, I'm not crazy. Henry Burris did not have a great game. But as I've said before, and I will continue to say, this is a team sport. It is not won by or lost by one player. It's very easy to look at number one and say, okay, he's the quarterback, he's the leader of the team. But not all the responsibility falls on his shoulders. Because if you look at the statistics between the two quarterbacks from an accuracy standpoint, they were pretty much even. They both had a touchdown. They both had 2 interceptions. Unfortunately, one of Henry's was very costly towards the end of the game. But at the same token, I don't subscribe to this notion that this is all Henry Burris' fault. Football is played in 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams. I heard the commentators going on about how did Burris allow this quarterback to come in and get over 300 yards of passing? Well, the last time I checked, Henry Burris isn't on the field when their quarterback is. So how did he get over 300 yards of passing? Perhaps that's a question for the defense. The defense didn't have a great game today either. There were a lot of second and longs that they needed to shut down, which unfortunately they weren't able to. They weren't able to stop those plays, which kept Toronto's offense on the field. The only facet of the Red Blacks game which seemed to be working tonight was the special teams. If you had told me a few weeks ago that Chris Milo would be kicking a 50 and a 55-yard field goal in a game, I would say after seeing some of his last performances, no. But his kicking game's improved. But unfortunately, not something I want to focus on right now either. I want to focus on this absolutely ridiculous notion that, oh, if Henry Burris doesn't play next week, well, he might be in jeopardy of losing his job. Let's put this on the table here. Trevor Harris is a very good quarterback, and he very well might be the person that Henry Burris passes the baton to when he's ready to leave. But I don't think he's ready to leave yet. So if you decide, Ottawa, that you want to bench him, and this is to the fans out, or the so-called fans out there, let me put this in perspective. There are at least 5 teams in the CFL that would take Henry Burris and start him. Not put him on the bench, not give him a clipboard, but start him. You want to go with the person who's won before and who can get you there again. And I want to tell you something. This is the craziest CFL season I've seen in a long time. If you look at the standings, it is so wide open. Like, if you can predict who's going to be in the Grey Cup right now, more power to you. Do me a favor, write down 7 numbers that I can use to win $60 million next Friday, because it's so wide open. Teams that you wouldn't expect to be beating other teams are doing it. Like, there are so many upsets, it's crazy. So I'm going to tell you something. I don't want you guys to sit down for this, because this is important. I don't want to shock anybody. I don't want to give anybody a heart attack. Ottawa's going to lose games. I'll say it again. Ottawa is going to lose games. It's going to happen. A team is not going to go 18-0 or 17-1. They're going to lose games. It happens. And if we are going to push the panic button every single time it happens, well, you know what? You're going to have to get some stronger heart medication, because you're in for a long season. So yes, this game, they didn't play their best game. I'm not going to sit here and act like they did. But we need to get it together, and we need to support our team. It's pretty much as simple as this. You're either a fan of the team, win, lose, or draw, or you're just jumping on the bandwagon. And I have absolutely no respect for people who are jumping on and off the bandwagon. If you want to talk about this, you know how to reach me, but if you don't, allow me to remind you. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WhittyWhittier, and WhittyWhittier.com. My name is Keith Whittier, and I lend my support to the Ottawa REDBLACKS, and I know that this team is going to be okay. And when they make the playoffs, all those bandwagon fans and all those fans that are leaving early and talking about how Burris sucks, I'll be the one saying, I told you so. Until next time, my name is Keith, and that's my view from the 40.